list is Sukuna's Divine Flames. Fans have seen this fire arrow before in Shibuya as well on 2 occasions. The first time he used it was against Jogo, and he was able to completely incinerate him to a crisp. Later on, Sukuna came face to face with the Divine General, and once again he utilized this power to burn the Divine General to a crisp, defeating him in the process. In JJK Chapter 258, Sukuna brought out the Divine Flames once again, and this time around, they were targeted at the sorcerers around him. However, utilizing these Divine Flames was not as easy for Sukuna as one would have thought. In fact, there was a very valid reason as to why Sukuna could not use these flames earlier. In JJK Chapter 259, it was confirmed that in order for Sukuna to access the Divine Flames, he has to first utilize the power of Cleave and Dismantle. Once he does that, only then can he access the Divine Flames and start the process of cooking. This makes quite a lot of sense. The fact that Sukuna's domain is truly a malevolent kitchen, where he is the chef and he chops things up and cooks with his fire. It was confirmed in JJK Chapter 259 that Sukuna's Divine Flames are his ultimate technique and the strongest one that he has in his arsenal. However, the way they work is rather complicated. Sukuna's Divine Flames also lack speed, and at the same time, they have a very narrow range. As such, they are not ideal to utilize against individuals who can escape its range. Naturally, this wouldn't have worked against the sorcerers. Because of that, Sukuna had to make a binding vow, which meant that he could only target multiple people inside of his domain, and that outside, it was limited to one individual. Inside the domain, he could incinerate just about everything in the surroundings. It is safe to say that Sukuna's Divine Flames are truly overpowered. Nearly all individuals inside his domain likely die when he utilizes this technique. However, that is not to say that this technique cannot be countered. Sukuna's Divine Flames were in fact countered by Choso in this chapter, even though it was unleashed at its full power. Choso used a blood barrier to coat Yuji's body with it, and Yuji successfully survived without even a single burn on his body. Of course, Choso ended up dying himself, and this is likely due to the fact that he used his remaining powers to protect Yuji. The fact is, the Divine Flames, despite being very powerful, can be countered. At the same time, fans should also keep in mind that individuals such as Gojo could easily counter a technique like this, which is another reason why Sukuna never utilized it in the battle against him. That said, the majority of the world of JJK would fall to the power of the Divine Flames, as they erase all forms of life altogether. Had Tado not moved the sorcerers outside Sukuna's domain, they would most certainly have died